Toussaint Louverture, the man, the myth, the legend himself, by Nick Latham. Toussaint was born into the Western African Arada tribe. He was born of slave parents near Cap Francis Saint-Domingue, which is now Cap Haitian Haiti. His father, Gayao Guianao, had been brought to Saint-Domingue and sold to the Count de Breda. Toussaint was the eldest son, and his date of birth is given as either May 20th or November 1st, All Saints' Day, procuring the name Toussaint. He also took the surname Breda from his owner. De Breda was relatively humane and happy to encourage Toussaint to learn and read and write. He was already a noted horse rider and herbalist before the subsequent military and political career. He married a woman called Susan, and they had a son named Placide. Toussaint is most famous for his involvement in the Haitian Revolution, but he also acted as a physician to the insurgent army during the 1791 Black Slave Uprising against the French colonial regime. Toussaint was able to expel Europeans from Haiti and establish Haiti as a self-governing political government with himself as governor. Toussaint's army won several battles in 1 week against British in January of 1798. The British withdrew from Haiti in 1798 as well. In 1799, he invaded Saint-Domingue's southern peninsula and defeated the mulatto general André Rigaud, his last major rival for power in the colony. The Spanish were defeated in 1800. Toussaint drafted a committee to write constitution for the colony, which went into effect in 1801. When Napoleon came in power in France, he began to work with colonists to return France's Caribbean territories to their earlier profitability as a plantation colonies. Denying that he was trying to reinstate slavery, Napoleon's brother-in-law, Charles Leclerc, attempted to regain French control of the island in 1802. Toussaint was invited to negotiate a settlement. Attending a meeting under safe conduct, he was seized and shipped to France, where he died in captive in Fort des Jacques in Doubs, 1803. Throughout his life, Toussaint was known as a devout Catholic. Although voodoo was generally practiced in Saint-Domingue in combination with Catholicism, little is known for certain of Toussaint's connection with it, except that as an effective ruler of Saint-Domingue, his official policy was to discourage it.
I am Toussaint Louverture. My name is perhaps known to you. I was born a slave, but nature gave me the soul of a free man.
Toussaint Louverture was a very determined man.
He eventually occupies a somewhat privileged role, if you can say that, on a plantation as a coachman, and has a kind of relationship with the managers and masters in some ways. He becomes free in the 1770s. He saw possibilities where other people didn't. Toussaint is, I think, one of the most incredible figures that I know about in many ways. He's born on a plantation in Saint-Domingue. He grows up on that plantation.
That plantation was owned by a man who was tolerant for the times. Toussaint was taught to read and write as a child.
He had businesses, had contacts in the US and elsewhere, bank accounts, managed his affairs pretty well. The man was endless in organizational capacity. I mean, he would have been a fantastic CEO today.
He was not of the same class anymore. His interests were different from the interests of the masses.
On the night of August 22nd, 1791, 1,000 enslaved Africans attacked their masters. But Toussaint's first reaction to the raging violence was based neither on money nor race. It was personal. He went back to the plantation where he had been born to protect his former owners. Back in the capital city, as Toussaint helped his former master flee the violence, Saint-Domingue's whites repelled assault after assault. The new French government in Paris sent more than 10,000 military reinforcements to help the colonists reestablish white rule. As rebel leaders struggled to forge a disciplined fighting force, Toussaint's talents and intellect set him apart. Toussaint, on the other hand, had a unique window on the world. He was schooled in African and European culture alike, and had read some of France's most radical thinkers.
Toussaint was not fighting for power, wealth, greed, or for the sake of gaining land. He simply wanted to free his brothers from slavery. He was not just trying to accomplish a short-term abolishment of slavery in Haiti. He wanted there never to be slavery again. Toussaint Louverture was truly a great man. Thank you for watching. This movie has been approved by Nick Latham.